bungee jumping. You know, when you go bungee jumping or skydiving, or don't follow the instructions of the gun instructor accurately, you get hurt. But for some reason, no matter how many times and how detailed the instructions are, so you don't harm yourself, or you follow the instructions of the person that is telling you how to go about the thing that you're about to do, that could end up costing you a limb, your life, financial distress at the very least in that case, we all tend to kind of blank out when it's time to do the act. And that is when I want to relate real estate offers to. Because if you don't listen to your experienced realtor who's got the experience by helping many people, many families do real estate transactions throughout the years, trust me when I say you'll lose money, or you'll freak out and you'll lose the opportunity to get the home that you want. Now, if you've seen my previous videos, from step 1, which was pre-qualification, to determining how and why you should pick the realtor that you should pick, which is my previous video, you would then immediately be more receptive to getting the advice and guidance of your real estate agent when it comes to price to offer for a property or what not to offer, the terms and conditions to go ahead and negotiate, should you make an offer that is conditional or unconditional, which is what we're going to talk about. And then along the way, you're going to learn what type of negotiating tips that you can go ahead and employ, or should you employ, especially in a multiple offer situation. So with that being said, hey everybody, I'm Tunio, guy with the memory of a goldfish. Drop your real estate questions and stories in the comments below. And if you want to view homes in the GTA, check out my links, send me a message, email. We'll hop on a Zoom call to basically talk about your real estate case. We're going to get started with making an offer and negotiations. Let's go back to the market that we've had for a majority of the time, which is where it's a seller's market and home prices are normally always increasing. They're always on the uptrend. Even then, you always had people that made offers on properties just to get the property from the seller, because, the seller's going to normally accept the highest price offer. Not always, by the way, but normally they go after the highest priced offer that is more beneficial in terms of the terms and conditions, like closing date. What happens is, at the time of closing, the bank's appraiser comes and says, actually, this property is not worth the amount of money that you've offered for it, in a market when house prices were going up. And also inverse, when house prices are going down, the bank is going to send an appraiser. 90 days later, that property is going to be worth a lot less, because when you're negotiating, you're hopefully negotiating at the current market value, current market price. 90 days later, if the property is worth, let's say, $100,000 to $200,000 less, then what are you going to do? Appraisers right in their place. The bank is not going to advance you the funds, and you're going to have to come up with the difference. And where this kind of comes down to is that the real estate agent that has been showing you properties, that you have been learning about all these little things when it comes to, what to watch out for in a property, what not to watch out for in a property. So hopefully you're a lot more receptive to his or her guidance of this entire phase of offer and pricing. So any real estate agent, when they're going to go ahead and make an offer, doesn't matter what the market, they have to do a comparative market analysis, and they have to know that, okay, is there a government change coming up that could affect market value? Anything. They have to see that, okay, 90 days from now, before we make an offer on a property, we better make sure that offer that we're making is very close to or above the actual value that we are offering for the home. And we want to try and get, on the buying side, the cheapest price possible for our customers and clients. And also on the selling side, we want to get them the most amount of money, but at the same time, we want to make sure we do it in a way where suddenly the deal isn't getting screwed up 90 days down the road. And that always involves a consideration of the current market price, current market value, and you should always be doing a comparative market analysis, or your real estate agent should be coming to you, if you're the buyer, and saying, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, this is what this property is worth, and this is the evidence for it, and this is what I'm backing it up with. Not that, I jumped on a phone call with the real estate agent and I suddenly started to basically negotiate and here we are. I hate those type of people. Real estate is not a number that you can just kind of pull out of your ass. No, that's not how it works. There is objective evidence. Prove to me that this house is worth $1.2 million, $2.8 million, for example. Prove to me that not only is the real estate agent going to go ahead and prove to you, the buyer, that, okay, this house is worth whatever amount that you're about to offer. So the buyer is thinking, I want to offer $1.3 million. And the real estate agent is like, okay, well, the house is listed for 1.4, but I actually think that it's worth around 1.45 or 1.3. That doesn't mean that you offer 1.45. It's just that that actually helps your buyer. So you try and basically go on the low end. Why is it that the seller has listed the property at 1.4 when the evidence and the public information is saying that it's worth 1.45? That warrants more investigation, not euphoria, okay? It doesn't warrant euphoria. It warrants further investigation as to why is the seller pricing it like that? There must be something else going on. That warrants more investigation. But once that's done, let's say you go to your buyer and you say, hey, Mr. Buyer, look, I know you want to offer 1.3. We all do. I would love to get you this home for that price, but the evidence shows 1.4, for example, 1.45. But, I've done my investigation. I couldn't really find anything. Clearly, the seller must have their own motivations for wanting to sell the house, faster. They want to get rid of it. That's why they're pricing it to sell. Okay, that actually happens a lot, believe me. And now after your real estate agent has shown you evidence that, okay, this is the price of the freaking property. Now your real estate agent is going to go to the seller's agent or the seller, depending on the situation, and actually make an offer informed with evidence, knowing what they're dealing with. Because on the flip side, the seller could say, no, I want 1.45. I want 1.5. Evidence has to be provided when it comes to any type of offer that you're making. Now, if you're on the selling side, you really have to make sure that all the dominoes and everything is aligned perfectly, where your seller is accepting that, okay, the evidence shows and the market trend shows that my house is worth $2.1 million, and that every single day that it's on the market, depending on the market trend, it's going down in value or it's going up in value. And that's it. We want to make sure that we are completely on the same page when it comes to anything to do with pricing, because obviously it's a sensitive topic.